Hello and welcome to the real short box.
Boxy box.
I'm Jarrett.
I am Kevin.
Donald here.
And that's what we got. That's our show. Thanks everybody for coming out.
Yay.
Please subscribe.
Just kidding. Welcome everybody. Welcome to the real short box.
Yes.
And
Special times demand
special
special
times.
treats.
That's right. So we demanded that Kevin, who brought up the idea of 40 ounces, should get us all 40 ounces. And much in our individual tastes, we all have 3 different 40 ounces. Kevin, what do you got?
I was forced, since I don't drink, I was forced to get the Miller High Life. I've never had it in a day in my life.
And he'll have it now.
And he's going to have it now.
Yep. Me?
Donald?
I got the Mickeys.
Of course, stereotyping himself.
Yep.
And I'm stereotyping myself by getting the King Cobra, because
Wow.
everybody knows me for my big King Cobra
Wow.
Yeah.
that I charm with the flute.
Hey, check
Yep.
this out. We probably shouldn't be drinking this. I mean, look what it says. The Surgeon General's warning is telling us, oh my God, man, he's already drank half of it.
Surgeon General's telling us to suck what like a bottle.
We already drank half it already. Oh my God.
That is America.
Oh,
Where you could
Oh.
podcast and drink your 40 ounces.
oh, guys. How will we get to this podcast?
Like a bottle,
if,
Kevin.
if we're drinking like 40, you're drinking like you're a baby or something. You're being fed by, oh my goodness.
And much like I was mining the
It's delicious.
hops and malts of this fine malt liquor, this episode is another prospecting episode. Yes, that's right. This is where we're going to give you our hints, our hidden info, our blatant info on books that we think are going to either go up in price or that are already up in price. But if you better snag them now
Before it's too late.
Nag 'em and bag 'em, baby.
Yeah. So, Kevin, why don't you lay one down on us?
All right.
Lay us down a fine, smooth track, sir.
Lately,
Prospect the shit out of that book, man.
While
Well-
I sip my fine malt liquor.
well, to start out with, gentlemen, one of the movies that's coming out that was recently announced was Batgirl. Now, of course, Batgirl's
No.
Now it's gonna be. Is it Batgirl or is it like a siren, Gotham Sirens or something like that?
Because they did talk about that at some point, remember?
Yeah.
They were talking
It
about
was
a
a
Harley Quinn spin-off
Batgirl,
thing or
Poison
something,
Ivy
yeah.
thing.
I really think that like DC could have something here, like mining their female characters.
Oh, hugely, yeah.
Think about it, because Marvel's going primarily all men. You know, there's a few women here and there, but it's primarily all males. DC has a large cache of female superheroes. They could definitely like spin off a Sirens and then a Catwoman solo.
I mean, look at
You know, a good
how
one.
Harley Quinn is huge now. I mean, she was big before. Now she's huge. And you go to,
She's almost
she's up
as,
with Deadpool, like
yeah,
exploded.
right. She's up there with Deadpool, almost as big as Batman.
yeah,
Everybody knows Harley Quinn.
yeah. You go to a con, you're gonna see, I don't know, 50 Harley Quinns and about
50
equal amount of Deadpools. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's the book though you're talking about?
Well, there's 2, but there's really one that's more obtainable. The first one, of course, would be Batman 139 from 1961, if you want to go that far, for the first true appearance.
Which is a great cover too.
Yes.
She's right on the cover of that one.
Is she in a wheelchair?
No.
Free wheelchair.
Nah,
And
not
of course-
interested.
The great true co-creator of Batman, Bill Finger, helped
Watch
create,
your
helped create the
language.
character.
Wow, Kevin.
But,
Wait, Bill Finger helped create Batgirl too?
yes, he did.
He did. All right.
Yes, he did. Now, the one that I'm really focusing in on, this is what I'm suggesting to people, would be the new 52, Batman #1 from 2011 from Gail Simone.
Mm.
That one has already gone up a little bit of value, maybe because it's more obtainable at the moment.
Right.
So I believe, just like last year when Suicide Squad came out, Suicide Squad #1, the first version of the new 52 was like going for over $100 at one point.
And like, I mean, kind of giving you another prospecting thing here, but Justice League Dark
Yes,
won New 52.
yes, it's going up.
because the
Well,
hype of a movie that keeps going back and
right.
forth.
Yeah, the dude
Yeah,
just dropped out
Del
again.
Toro at
and-
one point was attached, and,
Right,
and then
he's
it was
gone.
Doug Lyman, who was
Doug
going to be
Liman,
great,
who would have been
gone.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which really pisses me off because Doug Liman, I think, is he's the guy who got the Jason Bourne franchise going.
Well, DC has I was saying this the other day on the Pelucas page, DC has the worst press for their movies.
Yeah.
Like, not like publicity for the movies, press for them. Because it's
Right.
always a director dropping out. It's always somebody having a problem on the set or a delay in shooting.
Ben Affleck recently.
Ben Affleck, well, they're not even, well, not only does he not, he wrote it, right? He did write it, I think.
Part of it, yeah, or something.
And then he was going to direct it, but then he dropped out as directing. And then remember they did the hype for Deathstroke?
Yeah.
And then now he's possibly not in it.
Possibly. We still don't know, to be
But the
honest.
fact that there's so much turmoil on the sets, you know, it's
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
It's bad. It's bad news because especially if they got to do reshoots and things like that, you know that's never good. When have we ever seen a movie where they did a bunch of reshoots? Oh, it's going to be great.
World
Right.
War Z, I guess, kind of the exception to the rule. It
Right.
kind of
Well,
helped.
you know.
Well, remember when they announced that was a big setback for Suicide Squad? Remember they said, like,
Yeah.
because Deadpool came out and did huge,
Hmm.
and then they're like, oh, we're gonna go back and reshoot some stuff, and everybody's like, oh, because they need to add some humor into it because everything else was so dark.
So
and
dark,
shit.
yeah. And that's not. I mean, Suicide Squad's dark. Don't get me wrong, but you've got to have some humor, especially if you have somebody like Will Smith in a cast. It just makes sense, you know.
So what is the 52 Batgirl go for?
I think the last time I checked, it was around the $30 range.
That's not bad. You know, when that issue first came out, there was some huge controversy because she was not in a wheelchair.
That's
it
right.
was
Oh,
Barbara
that's
Gordon,
right.
and they just acted like it never
They
happened.
retconned the whole.
Yeah. And still, now that she's in the Rebirth or whatever, I don't think there's still an Oracle.
So there's no. Do they reference Killing Joke ever, or is that
I don't know. I haven't followed it enough. All I know is Batgirl's walking.
okay?
She's fine.
Because they were trying to hint that she was gonna start walking in the original before they did the
Yeah.
52. Like she got a feeling or her
Right.
leg twitched or something.
I was in Birds of Prey.
Yeah,
I
and
remember
then-
that issue.
And then all of a sudden, New 52, and she's walking.
What happened to Stephanie Brown, the pre?
Spoiler.
She's still in there now.
She's still around? Okay.
Yeah, she's in a Detective Comics
Because
run.
New 52, she just disappeared off the face of the earth. When they
Yes, she did. Yeah, she
They
disappeared.
did that with a lot of characters.
Yes,
Sons of
they did.
Bitches.
Yeah.
Don, you got a book?
I do. I have one here. It's first appearance of Longshot, which would be Longshot #1.
Right.
This was created by writer Anne Nicocente, or however she wants to pronounce it.
It's funny. Yeah, you're right. I don't know. I always say Nocenti,
Nocente, okay.
which is funny because
Yeah.
I have some Anne Nocenti created characters too.
Really
Yes.
interesting.
She kicked ass.
It's funny how she wrote, I think it was the Joker's daughter or something recently. It was god awful. And I was
Really?
like, this writer can't write out of a paper sack. This is the worst writer I've ever read.
Right.
And then I go back and I'm like, oh, well, maybe she just forgot how.
No, well, we were talking like Claremont. Chris Claremont's one of my favorite X-Men
Yeah.
writers. And then he came back and did, which was funny because I was reading The Exiles.
Yeah.
And Judd Winnick did it, and then Tony Bedard did it for a while, and it was great. And then they rebooted it, and Chris Claremont was writing it, which should have been amazing. But it was like something like his magic was gone or something.
Yeah.
Like
It's been gone like since before Sovereign 7 for DC, which is
Right.
what I referenced. I was like, yeah, he's still good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nope, not anymore. Anyway, it was Anne Nociente or whatever. Sorry, Anne. And artist Art Adams. He first appeared, of course, in Longshot #1. This was in September 1985, first issue of a 6-issue miniseries. Longshot series established him as an amnesic fugitive from another dimension who discovers that he has favorable probability outcomes or good luck that protects him when his motives are pure, and that he was a genetically engineered slave who led a rebellion on his dystopian world against his former master and arch enemy, Mojo. We all hopefully know Mojo.
Mojo.
That's the big
Mojoverse.
blobby guy.
Kind of like a scorpion robot hybrid fat dude. I don't know. It's hard to
Who's
explain.
obsessed with like his whole
His
plan
game
is
is
about
like his show. It's like
TV
his TV
ratings.
ratings.
Yeah, which is kind of cool.
To me, the like Longshot and Mojo and the Mojo verse are so transferable to film and TV. It's not
Right, here's-
because for the obvious reasons, but like yeah,
Here's what I'm thinking with Longshot. The reason why I'm bringing him up, they had such a huge hit recently on the FX series of Legion.
right,
And they did really well with the Shadow King,
right.
right? Imagine Mojo in there.
Oh, like how?
and,
yeah,
and then like part of the season or even the whole season, they're in like altered realities or
Mhm.
walking from TV show to TV show, game to game, things like that. Like each episode could be a different version of something.
and she created a whole world within the Mojo verse because there was Spiral. Remember with like the 6 arms?
Yeah.
She was like kind of like a warrior witch, and she
Yeah.
could like teleport people to and from the Mojo verse. And it was also like a Running Man feel because it was like he would take people from outside to put into his games, into his shows to get ratings.
Right.
And it was just like that's such a great, yeah, totally can take. Well, who knows? spoiler, spoiler, spoiler
Uh-oh.
for Legion finale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. At the end, did you see that the credit tag where that little thing comes and sucks him into it and flies
Oh, yeah,
off?
yeah. Oh,
That
yeah.
could totally be fucking Mojo.
That's true.
That could totally be Mojo.
That's a really good point. Yeah, I didn't think about
because
that.
that was really weird.
That was really weird.
Yeah.
That was Mojo level weird. So,
Yeah.
guys, definitely long shot number 1. It's not expensive. It's a cheap book, like $10, $12, something like that. You
Yeah.
can still pick it up. Highly recommend it.
Right.
That's brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
My first book is not a cheap one, but it is a book that is attainable if you save your dollars. And this is a character who's been used in movies. I don't want to talk about that because I want to talk about his future. And that character is Daredevil's arch nemesis, Bullseye.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Bullseye is one of my favorite villains, period. He's pretty much a master assassin. They've kind of alluded that he's almost a mutant because anything that's in his hands, he can make a weapon.
Have we ever done a SmackDown of Bullseye versus Deadshot?
No.
Because that would be kind of amazing.
That would be great.
Neither
Yeah,
one ever misses.
That's true. I think they might have fought in like a team thing, maybe, or no?
Me?
No,
I'm trying to think.
that was Deadshot versus Domino.
Yeah,
Ah,
that's right.
That's
right.
That's what I did.
But Bullseye is such a prominent character, especially in the Frank Miller run, which is what they're using a ton of.
Classic.
And now, the reason I'm prospecting with him is because Daredevil. I'm trying to look at things that are hits, and the Daredevil show on Netflix, out of all of them, is the biggest hit, and to me, it's the best. It's just they just nailed that.
Right, yeah.
They nailed the world. They nailed the casting. Has just been phenomenal, and season 3, not much information about it other than we're getting one.
Bullseye's likely in it.
Bullseye the fact that he wasn't in season 2, I thought they were going to tease him in season 2,
Right.
but I was fine. They
Instead of
did it.
Electro.
The Punisher and Elektra took up way too much space, and that was fine because they were awesome. But Bullseye has to be in 3.
And it makes logical sense because the Kingpin would make sense to hire him.
right. He's the Kingpin's lead assassin,
Yes.
and he's like I was trying to say before. He anything that it's in his hands becomes a weapon.
Is he Irish or German or Bullseye?
Well, they gave him different names. Benjamin Poindexter.
Well, Colin Farrell played him. He should be Irish.
Oh,
Yeah, that's true. It'd be funny because if he was Irish and he was in the show, they'd probably have him eating a fucking raw potato and fucking doing a goddamn jig. Them sons of bitches. Did you watch the opening?
I know. I warned about it too. I told him. I saw it first. I
Daredevil?
Said, season
Okay,
2,
so
the first episode. I told him. I said,
people get up in arms.
Don't be offended. I said, brother.
People get up in arms, especially certain ethnicities. They get up in arms over things. Sometimes they're warranted, and other
Right.
times it's like, really?
right.
I warned
I
him.
watched it was the first episode of season 2, wasn't it?
Yep, I warned
They're
him.
sitting around, this Irish mob is sitting around the table in Daredevil.
Oh,
And they're all eating like goddamn corned beef and cabbage. And there's
All the stereotypes.
potatoes.
All the stereotypes.
And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
No, but Bullseye. That book, Daredevil 131, came out in 1976.
It's a great book.
It's a great book. He's on the cover. It's an attainable book. Probably gonna end up spending $100 right now. You could maybe get it in fair condition for like in the 70s, but you're gonna probably end up spending $100. But it's worth it. I think that the character he's so ingrained in Marvel. He's such a he just recently had his own series. He's just a great villain, and I love him. And if I love him, then I want you to love him.
Here, man. Here's a tissue.
No, got it, fine.
Sorry.
But no, Daredevil 131, go get it. But yeah, it's not a cheap one, but it's definitely one that's not going to go down.
It's true. It's
All
true. Good investment. Kevin, you got one?
Yes, we're staying in this Netflix universe of Daredevil and Punisher. I'm going to go with Punisher here. One of his arch rivals, Billy Russo, known as Jigsaw.
Ooh.
Amazing Spider-Man number 162. Right now it's going for around, about $20, so quite affordable. And I would get my hands on that before the end of summer. Before, I think it comes out probably around the fall, November-ish.
Mm-hmm.
So if I were you, get your hands on Amazing Spider-Man number 162. And hopefully this portrayal will be done much better than the one in Punisher Warzone.
Right.
A little over the top, I believe.
Well, they did nail the Punisher Netflix, so I think they can pull it off.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
Because he
Definitely.
needs someone who can play off of him. Someone who's evil and dark, someone who's willing to, in the other direction, someone who can really play off Frank Castle.
Right.
If they do that, much like how, oh my goodness, escapes me right now, who played Kingpin.
D'Onofrio.
Vincent D'Onofrio.
If you can find someone like Vincent D'Onofrio's acting ability to play off,
he's literally
amazing.
my favorite Marvel cinematic villain.
Yes, he's amazing.
Portrayal of the villain.
Yeah.
I think
to me, he deserved like an Emmy nomination.
Yeah,
just for how good he was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Donald, you got another?
Yeah, I do actually. We were talking before about the New Mutants movie. They keep hyping that and talking about that. I'm thinking, you need a big old Indian in there, and by that I mean Native American, and I mean Warpath.
Yeah.
I think the first appearance of Warpath will just rise in value. That's New Mutants Volume 1, number 16. He's an Apache Native American, James Proudstar. He possesses mutant superhuman strength and speed. His powers resemble those of his older brother, the short-lived X-Men member Thunderbird, who who first appeared and died in what issue?
96?
The one you have it.
Oh, 95.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, he basically came in Giants X-Men number 1, and then in his third appearance, he's done.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
for some reason, I loved him. I thought he was, maybe it was just the look. I thought he was such a cool looking character.
Thunderbird looked awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. When he was on that cover, coming out of the cover,
Yeah.
he looked really cool. And it was a shame. It's a shame. But
But they
Warpath
created his brother to be like, let's rectify that.
right. Which is smart. Which is smart.
Totally.
It's smart.
Didn't they kill him off Warpath? Was he like in Genosha and that ex-Genosha? Was that the
I don't.
Oh,
he might-
Necrosha?
Necrosha.
He might.
No,
be
I
that.
think he like saved the day in
Oh, he
that.
saved the day in that. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I remember he was part of like that version of X-Force.
He's back.
Yeah.
Well,
Anyway,
that's
this issue isn't expensive either. It's like $10-$20 you can pick it up at
That's
the
not
most.
bad. That's not
no,
bad.
not
And
at all.
I'll even give you a bonus to that issue.
Bonus.
It's not only the first Warpath, it's the first Hellions. Which
Ah.
was the kind of, at the time, were supposed to be like the anti-New Mutants. They were like the evil New Mutants.
Oh, maybe they'll have that in the movie then.
Exactly.
That's
And
a
they were-
possibility.
That makes
They
sense.
were the White Queen, because the White Queen had the Massachusetts Academy, and they were her mutants that she was training.
Very cool.
Yeah,
Nice.
and some cool members on that team too.
What do you got, Jarrett?
I was going to go to the Daredevil world again, which I might come back to, but
Okay.
I'm going to go with the 90s. It's so funny. It's like, I think my parents, like, I remember going, like, yeah, the 70s sounded so cool, and like my parents were like, yeah, they were fine, whatever, but like how they get glamorized.
Yeah.
The 90s are getting so glamorized now. And
As they should.
But see, when I
The
think
last great decade.
I always called it the age of mediocrity, man. 90s was just like a bunch of, not that there was some cool stuff that happened and great music and stuff like that, but like it wasn't as cool as I think the kids think it was now. Like
Oh, yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
I mean, I don't know. I had a pretty awesome 90s myself. I mean, I got to do all kinds of things. It was the first time our family went on, like, vacations. Like, we went on 2 family vacations. One was in 89, and that was to Florida, to Disney World. And one was in 1990, and that was out to Colorado to visit my uncle. And we took a camper and drove cross country. So, we did Grand Canyon, Yellowstone. We did Royal Gorge, Yosemite National, all that stuff. It was great.
I was locked in a basement, molested, beaten.
Oh,
I could get a piece of bread if I was lucky. That was from 92 to 99. And then I escaped.
well, you had a couple good
And,
years.
Were you part of a cult or something?
No, just got in the wrong van.
I see.
He
Huh.
had this beautiful X-Force #1
Uh-huh.
polybagged.
Yeah, that'll do
And it was the card I needed.
It was
to
goddamn
Shatterstar,
polybagged.
and I wanted it. No, but I had a great time in the 90s too. I'm just saying, like, it's funny. It's like how it's like getting hyped and like fashions that I didn't even think of that were fashion then are like people are like, yeah, so 90s. I'm like, okay, cool, whatever.
So people were dressed like Vanilla
Acid
Ice.
wash
Dressed like Vanilla
jeans.
Ice or something.
I don't know. There's a
Well, the hammer
hypercolor.
pants.
The hammer
Hypercolor.
pants. The hammer pants are making a comeback. Okay.
Yeah.
Those are
Alright.
early now. Oh my god, yeah. But no, so I was thinking books that were kind of big in the 90s, and we've talked about Image before, but they've done a great video game of this character, and the book I loved.
I knew who you're talking about.
Jackie Estaccato, The Darkness,
Mm.
created by Garth Ennis and Mark Silvestri. What a cool pairing that was, by the way. Like, I love Ennis's writing, and then Silvestri's like beautiful, like
Artwork.
cool artwork, like
Mhm,
was
mhm.
so cool. And the character was, he was a mafia hitman could give a shit about anything, just like to have sex with women and kill people. Had no, he was just, that's all he did. He was
Nothing
awesome.
wrong with that.
And then he finds out, I think it was like on his 21st birthday, he is a descendant or an inheritor of this power called the darkness, which pretty much he can summon demons. Once he's in darkness, he can like create anything, almost like a Green Lantern thing in darkness, but with like demonic
Abilities.
features. Yeah. He could create guns if he knows how. He has to know how they work and stuff like that. So he knows guns, so he could create guns. He could always summon the demons to do his bidding.
Could he like say if he was like in the DC universe? Could he do something with Obsidian?
He could like probably just take them apart. Maybe he just live in them.
Or the Shadow King?
His first appearance was in Witchblade 10, which they had the TV show of, and the initial issue was there's a basic the Witchblade 10 issue, but then there's a variant that is awesome, and it's got Witchblade on the cover and the darkness kind of creeping behind her with a skeleton in the back. It's black and gray. It's just so goddamn goth. You're gonna want to put on The Cure and just never stop listening to it.
Mm-hmm.
And the character just bleeds coolness. He's got a great look. The powers can so translate to a movie, whether it's a show or a movie. I cannot see how
Perfect to put on like on Showtime or something or Stars.
Completely, it would be a great Showtime show. Even other like a Spawn animated, like a Darkness animated, would be great in that rated R kind of version. And you have so many things going for it. Like I said, you have Garth Ennis, who's got the Preacher show going right now. He wrote it. You have it's had already a big popularity surge with the video games, the Xbox games. They even made 2 of them. They did so well. And the game is awesome, by the way. You can you kind of go as the character. You start getting more and more darkness powers. And through that, oh my God, there's these ones. You have these like little darkness eels. And you could send them out. Like you can stay behind a wall and send them out and creep out. And they just go up and gobble people.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
So fucking cool.
That was pretty cool.
So yeah, Witchblade number 10. First appearance of Jackie Estacado, The Darkness. Pick it up. And it's
Cool.
totally attainable. It's like in the $15 range.
Yeah. Kevin?
Next, I believe the next character that people should get is Green Lantern number 87. First appearance of John Stewart.
Good luck with that, Kevin. That's like a $250 book now. Are you kidding me? Good luck with that prospecting.
Kevin, these kids, they're poor.
No, they're
They're on
not.
the street.
They're hungry.
Not all of them.
They're selling candy bars just to get one book from the new books.
Or Washington, D.C. trip.
Yeah. And you're asking them to fork over $200
Yeah.
for
He's a
Jon
worthy
Stewart.
character. Hey, Green
He's a
Lantern.
great character.
Green Lantern Corps movie is coming out in 2020.
That book is on my list, and I can't afford it.
You make $80,000 a year, and you're saying that you can't afford this book.
What? When? How do I make that?
I saw your income statement.
Oh.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not claiming any of that drug. He's not. All right, we'll just scratch that. We'll edit that out.
Okay.
And we'll just say that Donald can't afford that book.
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
So that money laundering.
A great book.
Oh,
Hey,
but
what-
I'm kind of with Donald on this one. That is a goddamn hard book to get.
Right. Yeah.
Now I find it strange. You were talking about $100 book, so how come I can't talk about a $200 book?
Because you crossed the line.
Because that's double the price.
But you know what?
It's like, okay, I would give up 1 finger for that book, but would I give up 2 fingers for
It's
that
like this:
book?
a kid might get
It's a
$100.
tax return.
A kid might get
tax
$100.
return.
A kid might get. I'm here for the kids. A kid might get $100 birthday card,
Right.
and be like, maybe it'll be an investment. I'll get this Daredevil 131.
Yeah.
Right.
He's
They're-
not going to be able to be like, I want that John. I
Well, they
watched
gotta-
Justice League Unlimited, and I want John
Look,
Stewart.
not
They
all
gotta
of our
wait for-
listeners are broke. Some of our listeners have some money.
They got to
on
wait
them.
for another birthday, and then by then it's $300.
Yeah.
And then they wait for another birthday, and it's 4. And then by then they're just like, they're trying to find you, Kevin. They want to know where you live.
And then
'cause it's scary.
yeah, and to the listeners that are rich, you're saying we might have rich listeners.
Yes.
They need to send their money to CO care of the Real Short Box. We'll get you the address at the end of the
Right.
show.
We'll do investments for you.
Yeah, and just send us the money. Don't send any letters or any notes or any contract things. Just send us the money. Cash would be nice, and we'll figure things out with that.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
As far as
Yeah.
how to spend your money.
We should talk about the first appearance of Wolverine next, since we're doing prospecting here.
This is a book. It's a little known one. It's Amazing Fantasy 15. Guy was named Peter Parker.
Yeah.
He becomes the Spider-Man guy, and I'm telling you guys, this guy's gonna be big.
Someday.
Yeah.
Yeah, they might make a movie. Who knows?
This has been our time traveling period of prospecting.
All right. Did you give the issue number yet?
I did. Green Lantern 87.
87. All right.
1971.
I'm gonna move on from that. I'm gonna cheap it down for you, everybody. I'm gonna switch it out. I'm gonna go with Web of Spider-Man number 36. It's the first appearance of Tombstone. That book you can pick up for $10. $10, everybody.
Maybe even cheaper.
Yeah, maybe even cheaper.
Go to, if you know a place with back issues, I guarantee they got some Web of Spider-Man. They might have that book because he's not even on the cover.
Yeah.
And
he's not at all.
Tombstone is the shit. I can't believe they've not.
Well, this is what I'm
character.
thinking. Again, like if they continue on with Daredevil, the Kingpin needs a rival.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like a war between two factions in the streets with Daredevil caught in the crossfires.
Mm-hmm.
That'd probably be season 4.
Tombstone would be a great Kingpin-esque figure to use.
And do you want to tell him about Tombstone?
Yeah,
too?
I got a little history.
Break him down.
Love him.
Character was created by Jerry Conway and Alex Savick, I think. Sorry, Alex. And first appeared in, of course, Web of Spider-Man number 36, March 1988. Character was immediately established to have a history with longtime Spider-Man supporting character Joseph Robbie Robertson, and was brought on as a regular in the Spectacular Spider-Man, which was then being written by Conway. Born as Lonnie Thompson Lincoln in Harlem, in New York City, he started out as a troubled youth who was bullied by his peers because he was Harlem's only African-American albino.
Like white albino.
Taller and stronger than the other children, he became a school bully, extorting protection money from his classmates. The school newspaper, edited by, of course, Joseph Robbie Robertson, was going to run a story on Lonnie's activities, but pulled it when Lonnie used intimidation. Lonnie allowed his personal demons to direct the course of his life and turned to a life of serious crime. Conway explained why he created Tombstone. He said that his general motivation was a need to work with the characters who weren't central to the Amazing Spider-Man title, since that was the main book. That meant he needed to focus his attention not on Aunt May, Mary Jane, J. Jonah Jameson, but on second or even third tier supporting characters. Joe Robertson was one of those. The second motive had to do with his desire to bring back that type of character, the ruthless gangster, kind of like Hammerhead had been, but not Hammerhead himself. It just came to him as a character type. One thing led to another, and as his backstory expanded, readers responded well to it. And, then he pushed him, and next thing you know, Tombstone's a popular character.
No, Jerry, is Jerry Conway?
Yeah.
He had such a grasp. Like, this is actually one of my favorite points this is like when I really got into Spider-Man, like reading the books. Like, I collected them as a kid because I just love, he had so many colorful characters, but like, I really got in, and I got really into he wrote the underworld, like the gangsters of Marvel so well. He had this big, war that was going through Web of Spider-Man, Spectacular Spider-Man. They were kind of just going back and forth with issues where the Kingpin was fighting these werewolf brothers, the Lobo brothers.
Nice.
And then in the middle was the Chameleon and Hammerhead teamed up. And I think Tombstone was working for them, and they had all this stuff. It was just such a really well-crafted, like, gang war story. And the Joe Robertson Tombstone stories were some of my favorites. So it's so cool that, he was really focusing on these third-tier characters because he created one of my favorite villains of all time. I think Tombstone is just he's a ruthless character, but he's got this weird soft spot for Robbie Robertson, and it's like really warped. Like and it goes on and on. I mean, if you start I think in Spectacular Spider-Man 139, one of the coolest covers, it's Tombstone on the front with like a sea of bodies underneath him, and he's just like in this black suit with this white face, and it's just fucking awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What do you have?
Let's see, another one for me. I'm going to go back to the hotel and go back to Netflix and go back to Daredevil.
Okay.
Daredevil 254 is the first appearance of Typhoid Mary. She is such a cool nemesis and love affair for Matt Murdock, Daredevil. Daredevil has the worst history with women, period. If you look at his every woman in his life is either super demented, horrible, like a horrible assassin, or ends up dead, or driven mad, or something. I mean, some of the worst things happened to this guy. And Typhoid Mary was, I was talking about Bullseye before. When Bullseye, I think, got finally jailed and arrested, and he was out of action for a while, she became his number one assassin. And she's actually cool. She was a former lover of Daredevil and his enemy. She's got low-level psionic powers, including telekinesis.
Telekinesis.
Yeah. She is also
every
gravely
time.
mentally ill.
Oh yeah.
Her origin's messed up. Her condition was accidentally caused
By buying the first appearance of Jon Stewart.
Yeah, she ran out of money, went crazy, and got hit by a car. No, her condition was accidentally caused by a pre-Daredevil Matt Murdock. He had tracked a villain down to the brothel where Mary worked, so she was a prostitute. He attacked the man, but to his surprise, the girls working there came at him. Panicking, so this is like his Batman Year One, Matt Murdock.
Uh-huh.
He lashed out, knocking Mary out the window.
Damn.
It was at this moment that Mary somehow became Typhoid Mary, vowing no man would ever hurt her again.
Knock her out a window.
Yeah.
Never again.
Exactly. Well, she fell out a window and I think like hit her head and it changed everything.
Makes
to her.
sense.
She suffers from dissociative identity disorder.
Nice.
She's another character who was created by...
That's multiple personality
Yeah.
for people that don't know.
Exactly. I think she's also got like pyrokinesis. She could just make people burst into flame. She's just like a mentally ill, like really beautiful girl, assassin, who is just dangerous. And you look at her, she's got this crazy look, like half her face is painted white. And if you know anything about history, Typhoid Mary was this cook who had a disease called typhoid and pretty much was told not to cook for people anymore because she was spreading the disease through her cooking, like just like spit falling into food and all this stuff
Ew.
like that. And she kept going and cooking she kept getting jobs for cooking, and all these families were dying because she was a carrier.
Yeah.
She was like, so she was carrying this thing and like,
What a
just-
nice lady.
yeah.
Well, you gotta eat.
No, but as a kid, this is how I learned about history, like warped history.
Yeah.
Because I'd be like, Typhoid Mary, that's a cool name. And then I'd get out like our Encyclopedia Britannica because I didn't have a smartphone, because they didn't exist, because we're old. But yeah,
True.
went to the cabinet, grabbed out the Encyclopedia Britannica, looked up Typhoid Mary, and was like, well, that's demented and weird. And
Yeah.
that's why Jarrett's as weird and demented as he is
Yeah.
now.
Little Jarrett sounds really weird,
Yeah.
by the way.
Thanks to comic books.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. So yeah, Daredevil 254, another book, $15, $20 range. Some people might be going higher, but it's totally attainable. She's going to show up in a Netflix
Right.
show. I mean, like,
Right.
she's a love interest who is a villain, which is exactly what Elektra was, and that went over gangbusters. So yeah.
Mhm. Hit us, Kevin.
Rachel Summers.
Rachel Summers. Who's that?
The Excalibur Rachel Summers?
Yes.
Okay.
The ultimate
First
reality-
appeared in Excalibur number.
No. X-Men.
Number 141, Days of Futures Past.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a cheap one.
Actually, it's come down.
It's not. Yeah, it's not that bad actually.
Not
I
that
think
bad.
when I bought it, it was right before they announced the movie, and I think I paid $40 for it.
Mhm.
So you can probably get it for like 60 or 75.
Right.
I would
Because
imagine.
at one point it was in the double digits, and I sold mine just in time. But yes,
Well, I think that's one that story's timeless. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah,
so I
it's
think
timeless.
it'll.
Is this the cover with the Sentinel
Yeah.
blasting? Or is the... Oh,
Yeah,
no, the
yeah,
one with the...
with all the pictures of the dead
Of the
X-Men.
dead...
This is such a popular
AC
cover.
Wolverine,
Yeah.
Kitty Pryde.
I don't know if there's a cover that's been emulated more.
Yeah, they've mimicked the
Besides
shit out of
maybe
that one,
Action
yeah.
Comics #1. You know.
Which is another attainable.
If you sell just 3 homes of great value, yes,
Yeah.
you can buy an Action
Here in
Comics #1.
California, anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, a couple of multi-million-dollar homes, you can do it.
Well, what's her deal? Why is she so cool?
Well, she's the alternate reality daughter of Scott Summers and Jean Grey, and she was touched and imbued with the power of the Phoenix Force.
Right.
And through other means, she was able to come into the regular Marvel timeline, and she was one of the leaders of Excalibur, as you mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
And she was a pretty cool character. I kind of liked her, you know?
She had a really cool look. She had
Yeah,
like
she had
the
a cool
red
look.
hair, like kind of short.
Mm-hmm.
She
And
was
then-
in that What If issue that you read.
That's the What If, the
Yes.
X-Men Lost the Inferno. She was a big
Yes.
part in that.
I think it's a possibility it can go two ways. She can show up on a TV show or she can show up in a later film, but I think it's more likely they would put her on a TV show.
Well, they've got this. What's the
Like Legion, wouldn't be interesting.
or what's the X-Men show coming up? There's a that Bryan Singer's involved with.
Oh yeah, I don't know what it's called.
It's like X-Men something.
But if they ever do a time traveling thing, what a
thing.
cool character to bring in.
Yep. And plus, her story kind of
Yeah, like,
connects to Cable a little bit too, in a way.
Right.
Like Exiles, kind of like what they did with Sliders.
Right.
It's doable. It's
Mhm.
doable. You know, with a larger budget and a bigger network. You know, well, not a, you know, like I guess maybe an AMC or FX instead of CBS or something. I
Right.
would hope.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But you know, it's definitely doable.
Well, that's a good character. It's also just like you said, it's a timeless story. So
I'm gonna go here real quick. I'm just gonna mention two real quick ones here. I'm gonna go with the first appearance of Squirrel Girl. It's Marvel Superheroes number 8.
Little hypocrite there. That goes for money.
It's AKA Marvel Superheroes Winter Special. Cover dated January 1992. It was the story was actually, listen to this, it was plotted and drawn by Steve Ditko.
really,
Yeah. And scripted by character conceptualizer Will Murray. Her ability to communicate with squirrels is surprisingly effective and allowed her to defeat major supervillains, such as Galactus, I believe, at one point.
How's
I
that
think
possible?
she's beat Juggernaut. And
Yeah,
is that possible?
it's dumb. That's what it is. I don't like the character. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to go on the record. But I do know that a lot of people like the fact that she's around.
right.
She's a strong female character. I can appreciate that. And she is going up in value a lot, actually. She was announced to be in a new TV series. So we'll see how that goes. Whether it's playing now or will be coming out, that's to be seen.
the New Warriors TV show, right?
Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, the
Right.
New Warriors. But anyway, I think the book goes for roughly anywhere from 75 to 100 right now.
Yeah.
And it's going to only keep going up. So
She's
catch it while you
one
can.
of those characters, hate her or love her, she's just sticking around.
she's not going to go
She's
away.
not going anywhere.
And to spin off that, reason why I'm doing two, I'm going with the first appearance of the New Warriors,
right.
which is the Mighty Thor number 411. The original New Warriors were created by editor Tom DeFalco, who brought together existing Marvel comic book characters Firestar, Marvel Boy, Namorita, Nova, and Speedball, and added the newly created Night Thrasher to form a team of young superheroes known as the New Warriors.
Mm-hmm. Fun books to read. those
Yeah,
first ones.
it's I think the network that picked them up, or it's not even a network technically for this, it's that Freeform,
Oh, really?
and it's
Okay.
coming in 2018.
Oh, wow.
So we'll see how that that Cloak and Dagger does, because that's on Freeform, I believe.
right.
And then they're doing New Warriors, so we'll see how it goes. But those are my prospect ideas on those two.
And the New Warriors are always people like that team. They've always those
Yeah.
books have always been, you know.
Yeah, your daughter really liked those.
Sure, my
characters,
daughter loves the New Warriors. Yeah. What do we got? Like one more, maybe?
right? Yeah, one more is perfect.
All right, I'll just do a quick one. This is one. These are very attainable. It's two books I would say get 0 Hour number 1 and Starman number 0. Now the Starman character was a Golden Age hero. Don't try and get that first appearance because that was probably in the 40s, 30s.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah, good luck. But his son, Jack Knight, became Starman in the 90s. Another little 90s book here, written by James Robinson, and I think it was like a 50-issue run. He had a full, complete run of it. Great covers, great story. He was like this retro hipster guy who gets the cosmic rod, which was his father's weapon, and it could channel the energy of the stars. And it was a very popular book in the 90s, and then it had its run, and it's like, I don't know if James Robinson had complete creative control of the character, so like they couldn't use him for anything else, because he pretty much just went away after
Yeah.
that.
Kind of did.
I think he passed on his cosmic rod to, what's her name? Star Spangled Kid, Stargirl now.
Yes, yeah. That's
And
true.
And he was just a really cool character. It's got CW show written all over it. He's got his own city, Opal City.
Yeah,
she's-
or at least if they do like a Stargirl series, or the Star Spangled Kid, or I don't remember
Yeah.
what the hell her name is. But if they do her series, he could be like the mentor or something like that.
Completely,
Yeah,
right.
easily.
And he was just this cool dude. He was like the reluctant superhero, did not want the legacy, but his brother dies.
Mm-hmm.
And he's got this cool villain, the Mist, and it was like he's fighting the daughter of the Mist.
That was one of the best single issues I've ever read from a comic. Was when the Mist came in and she took out the entire Justice League Europe,
like killed them.
killed them.
Yeah,
Just killed the shit out of them.
right.
I think she used like holy water and a sprinkler system
Blue
to kill
Devil.
Blue Devil. It was just
Yeah.
like very fascinating. He did. James got to do some stuff that I've always wanted to do.
Right.
Systematically breaking down heroes.
Right.
That's like some of my favorite. When I was younger, I'd love to write. It's weird, but I used to love to write down how to kill heroes.
So you're like a young Batman.
Yeah, kind
Like,
of.
If they
Yeah.
ever get out of hand, I'll know how
Right.
to kill them.
Yep, I knew exactly how.
Yeah. So, but James Robinson, this is at the height of his talent to me, and like he really just obviously had an affinity and a love of this character,
Mm-hmm.
and it was just a well-crafted story. And you can get him in these beautiful books now. I mean, you can get them anywhere at collections, but
Yeah, individual issues you can still pick up for 50 cents to $1.
completely 0 hour #1. I'm gonna pick it up like now for like $1. You know what I'm saying? And like that's his first appearance, and then even Starman #0, which is what his origin and all that
Yeah.
stuff. Same thing, $5, $4 or $5.
Right. I think I'm 4 or 5 issues away from collecting the entire run,
Right.
and I've just been doing it piece by piece.
Yeah.
When I see
But
it.
this character is going to get used eventually,
Yes.
and one day you're going to be like, why didn't I pick that book up?
Well, I think that's going to do it for us, guys.
Kevin, you got one more?
Yeah, just one quick one.
All right, throw it out there.
Moses Magnum.
Moses Magnum.
I think he could appear in the Punisher series or even Luke Cage.
Who?
Moses Magnum.
I don't know who that is.
Okay, never mind.
Who is it? Well, enlighten us.
He's a arms dealer, a terrorist. He has certain powerful abilities. I figured, someone who might show up in a future
Okay.
season.
What comic? What comic?
He first appeared in Giant Size Spider-Man #4.
All right. Giant Size Spider-Man #4.
know,
Interesting.
Earth manipulation.
Moses Magnum.
Yes, Earth manipulation.
Did they
gadgets.
link him to Apocalypse at one point, too?
Yes, they did.
They did.
There we go.
They like retconned it and were like, oh, and by the way, he got his powers from Apocalypse. Like way later, though. Like way after.
Weird. Weird.
He was all over the place. So he was the guy that they're really trying to sell. Because they put him in X-Men comics as a villain. They put him in Luke Cage as a villain.
Right.
So I guess what we're saying is,
It's possible.
Right.
don't get your hopes up.
And with that,
Subscribe, show us love.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
iTunes, YouTube, Facebook.
Twitter. But mainly just go out to your comic shops and buy stuff. Support your local comic shops. Help them out. Because if you don't do that, then we won't be able to see you at the comic.